Global markets are celebrating a new wave of optimism with Wall Street hitting fresh records as investors bet big on a September rate cut from the Federal Reserve. From African infrastructure ambitions to corporate survival battles, today's headlines show how sentiment, whether in trading floors or boardrooms, can shift fortunes almost overnight. My name is Eniola Lunge, and here's today's Zoom Out for August 12, where I help you see the bigger picture. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq both closed at record highs today, with the Dow also making strong gains. The rally followed a new inflation data showing a moderate rise in consumer prices despite ongoing tariffs. This has strengthened expectations that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates at its next meeting in September. Lower interest rates could boost borrowing, encourage corporate investment, and support higher equity valuations, but they may also reignite inflationary pressures. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? Markets are moving on hope, not certainty. Rate cuts can lift short-term sentiment, but without strong fundamentals, rallies risk becoming sugar highs. The African Development Bank has committed $500 million towards Ethiopia's planned mega airport, expected to be the largest in Africa when completed in 2029. The project aims to transform Ethiopia into a major aviation hub, boosting regional integration and economic growth. Improved infrastructure could position Ethiopia as a gateway for African and global trade, attracting foreign investment in logistics, tourism, and manufacturing. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? Infrastructure on this scale isn't just about planes, it's about power, influence, and Africa's role in global connectivity. As negotiations continue in Geneva for a global treaty to curb plastic production, the African Energy Chamber warns the deal could hurt African oil and gas economies. They argue that limits on single-use plastics may shrink domestic industries, reduce revenue, and slow development in resource-rich countries. A stricter treaty could reduce petrochemical demand in Africa, affecting export earnings and industrial job creation. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? Environmental policies can be double-edged swords. The global push for sustainability must also address the economic realities of developing regions. Spirit Airlines has warned that it may not be able to continue operating beyond the next 12 months if financial results don't improve. The low-cost carrier only emerged from Chapter 11 bankruptcy in March after regulators blocked its planned merger with JetBlue. The airline is considering various steps to raise cash, including selling assets like aircraft or real estate, and is also working on enhancing its product offerings to attract higher-paying customers. A Spirit collapse could disrupt budget travel markets in the U.S., potentially driving fares higher and reducing options for price-sensitive consumers. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? In aviation, survival isn't just about flying. It's about navigating competition, regulation, and sometimes razor-thin margins. Swiss athletic shoemaker On Holding, backed by tennis legend Roger Federer, saw its stock rise after posting better-than-expected earnings and raising its full-year sales forecast. Direct-to-consumer sales were the standout performer, reflecting brand strength and consumer loyalty. Strong consumer brands are showing resilience even in mixed macro conditions, with direct sales giving companies more control over margins. So what's your Zoom Out takeaway? In a crowded retail world, storytelling and brand credibility can be as valuable as the product itself. So the bottom line is this: whether it's countries building infrastructure, companies defending market share, or industries fighting regulatory headwinds, the winners will be those who act before the tide turns. What story stood out to you today? Drop a comment, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more context with me on Zoom Out. When the world zooms in on the noise, I zoom out so you can see the bigger picture.